Well, hello there and welcome, fans of the Alien franchise. Maybe you only like some of the movies, or maybe you love them all. Either way, I'm here to update you guys on exactly what is happening with the upcoming TV series from FX, simply named Alien. Now, I hope you guys and girls find this video to your liking, and please feel free to stick around by subscribing, as I promise I will be posting more updates for you exactly as and when they come. Thank you. I've been a big fan of the franchise since I was very young. I believe I watched Aliens at the age of 8 and then saw the previous original film Alien just a short while after. James Cameron's Aliens was action-packed with everything my young, tender mind craved to fuel my imagination to new places. It was exciting, tense at times, had badass characters, the music was epic and was even funny at moments. And when I realised there was another Alien movie that came before, I got my dad to record it on VHS and loaded it up one early afternoon. This was when I first experienced true terror. I will never forget the feeling of sheer anxiety and panic, which then turned to absolute horror during the scene when Dallas lost his way in the maintenance tunnels and met his demise to the creature. A creature we see for just a split second, a shape of something pure in form yet grotesque and deadly in the dark. Although shaken at the time, I will continue to rewatch these magnificent films to this very day. Many years have passed since Alien appeared in 1979, but in the meantime we've had a mixture of good and bad sequels and many games based on the Alien and Predator universes. One of the best Alien games I got to play was Alien Isolation. I think it surprised us all by how good this game actually was. But back to the movies though. Although the original two films left many things unanswered, they both remain cinematic masterpieces in the horror and sci-fi genre. Alien 3 certainly had the right director in David Fincher, but seemed to suffer too much from studio interference, leaving the film in the shadow of the former two. Well, ignoring Alien 4 completely, some of the weaknesses displayed in Prometheus and Covenant were down to errors in basic storytelling within the writing, choices characters made, and ultimately overusing and overshowing the alien once again. It's also strange, and on some level I kinda get it, but when did Alien become so highbrow? Prometheus and then Covenant had enormous ambitions with lofty ideas about the engineers and the origin of not just the alien but also humanity. Sadly, in my eyes, this grand plan never came to fruition in the way that we all hoped. There were some great moments of tension and build-up in Prometheus as well as Covenant, but they were both tarnished by many silly decisions, leaving us with more questions than answers. So with an Alien series looming just over the horizon, boy does it have much to live up to. No pressure, Disney. It has to not only compete with the genius of the first two films, but also needs to fill the void left by the most recent entries into the franchise. So I think it's safe to say that the Alien franchise is now in a state of emergency, and if we don't receive a series that is on par and as mature as some other recent standouts in similar genres, such as Andor or House of the Dragon, then, well, it just needs to be a success at this point, really. I mention Andor simply because the series emerged from the Star Wars universe, which has recently been subjected to so much blandness, tropey elements, lazy writing and an overdose of nostalgia. I think everyone was shocked by how mature and well executed Andor was on every achievable level. So the Alien series needs to be this. I strongly believe what this franchise desperately needs to recover again is a decent and well written script in a long story format. So in other words, a series. At least a 10 episode first season allows us enough time to invest in the characters and affords us a better understanding of what is happening in the world at this time. Series do offer world building in a way films simply cannot. I would also throw in that if we can establish the importance of the show being mature on a storytelling level, then it stands to reason they cannot be shy in showing graphic content such as blood and gore. After all, what is an Alien series without the visceral horrors the xenomorph is able to inflict on its victims? I really hope Disney do not shy away from this aspect. Let me know in the comments if you think this could be a concern for the series, be it coming from Disney. So here's what we know. It's being made by the studio FX, meaning Fox Extended. Fox was purchased by Disney a while back, and therefore Disney owns the rights to Alien. FX has made some very watchable shows in the past, most notably Fargo. It's actually the writer and creator of Fargo, Noah Hawley, that will be the writer and executive producer on the Alien series. I would say this bodes well for the show, as Fargo was complex and extremely well executed. Some seasons were better than others, but overall a fantastic watch. Although the project is being kept tightly under wraps, there are a few details to go on, and of course we are allowed to speculate, are we not? The show will be set roughly 70 years from now, and decades before Ripley's harrowing voyage aboard the Nostromo. How much space travel takes place or locations on other worlds remains a mystery at this point. What we do know for sure is that finally we are going to have a live-action Alien story set on Earth. I realise the Alien vs Predator movies were also on Earth, but I feel just for the sake of this conversation we can safely disregard them from the timeline. So if we assume that the series will focus on Earth as the main location, what does that mean in terms of events unfolding? Well, Noah Hawley had this to say when speaking to Esquire last year. It's set on Earth of the future. At this moment I describe that as Edison versus Westinghouse versus Tesla. Someone's going to monopolise electricity, we just don't know which one it is yet. In the movies we have this Weyland-Yutani Corporation, which is clearly also developing artificial intelligence. But what if there are other companies trying to look at immortality in a different way? With cyborg enhancements or transhuman downloads, which of those technologies is going to win? It's ultimately a classic science fiction question: does humanity deserve to survive? So clearly and most importantly from that statement, I believe it sounds like we are going to be thrown into a futuristic Earth where corporations have more power than any governments perhaps, and these corporations are going to be warring against each other for their technological place at the top. In terms of these companies creating advanced AI and trying to preserve the human consciousness for immortality, we have seen this being done in other shows like Altered Carbon, and even in the real world it's been a hot topic for billionaire philanthropists such as Elon Musk to discuss the value of AI and understanding human consciousness. I personally think these aspects will help ground the show's storytelling and richness. I mean, I would love to see elements of high drama involving espionage, corporate assassinations and bribes, all leading to Weyland-Yutani defeating its competition and ultimately paving the road to the events of Prometheus and Covenant, and even further in the future, of course, to the original Alien films. How the alien species fits into all of this is still a mystery for now. What has been confirmed is that the show will be set in 2092, the same year Ripley was born, and also 1 year after the Prometheus vessel leaves Earth for LV-223. As far as I can understand, at this point in the timeline, humanity is unaware of the engineers and the organisms created by them up to this point. Unless somehow this gives the show license to explore new ground, perhaps Weyland-Yutani has been dispatching unsuspecting victims out into space for some time, sending people to locations as expendable pawns, and in the process may have gained knowledge of the engineers or the biological weapon that is the alien. The xenomorph will be in the show, all reports swear to this, but hopefully in the near future we will get some clarification as to how this can be. One of the many themes of the show could be a back and forth communication between Earth and Peter Weyland, or even David the android. More of the events that unfolded with the Prometheus may be seen more vividly through the eyes of Weyland-Yutani Corp, and we might hopefully learn much more about the events before and after Peter Weyland's trip to LV-223 in the Prometheus and the horrors that unfolded there. I wouldn't be surprised at all if, knowing how important big tech and AI are in the show with the feuding corporations, we see some kind of backstory to the creation of David and his relationship to Peter Weyland. And just remember that it will be the human relations that make or break this show. If done well, then combined with the correct use of the xenomorph, in other words, less is more, the last thing we need are aliens running around willy-nilly, being anything other than scary, then potentially we have something big to look forward to here, folks. For the most part, I imagine this show will need to explore new ground, as it is still decades before Ridley Scott's Alien and cannot rely too heavily, of course, on events from those films. But the fact that the date of the show is the same year of Ripley's birth is just another nod to how much Hawley has already said to have paid homage to Ridley Scott's seminal original movie. So maybe we can hope for a revival of the core elements of what made the first film so damn good, perhaps. The new face of the franchise, or at least the biggest name drop so far, is Sydney Chandler. We don't know what kind of role she'll be playing, or any details for that matter, but she's certainly made a name for herself with some standout roles in a few recent projects, and from the little I've seen her in, she's a good actress with promise. Lastly, filming begins in September this year, 2023, so in all likelihood it could mean we'll have to wait to the end of 2024 before we can actually watch it. Usually with these types of series you can expect to have to wait about a year or sometimes more from the date of filming. So that's all I have for now, good people, but like I said, as soon as new info drops I would definitely be the first to let you know and give you my heartfelt thoughts and opinions. Thank you so much if you made it all the way through. Hope to see you soon. Take care.